Okay, so today is the second time for my 40th video. Okay, so let's start it. You know the saying is got try your best. I would say be the best. Is being top 20% of your class good enough for you? No. If you want something, you got to get after it, and then you will start producing good results, and then you will build confidence along the way. I just got out of chase, hard tech study, techniques like elsewhere as medical student that they helped me get into medicine and use these days. I have them focus on actual study techniques and other half on study mentality, which is just as important. Let's start with the first one. For student study from the testable core materials hours, let's say the box represents all information that represents you in the start in the middle. It is testable material. Someone who doesn't know how to study will go from the top to bottom, covering every single little detail that the exam comes. They have been covered like 20 to 70% of what is testable. Whereas someone who knows how to study will start from the middle, study for the core materials. It is testable and then study hours, and then exam comes, although they have studied and everything is studied that is important and what is testable. I know that I want to be the best student as possible. I want to be the best doctor as possible. So in studying, we have this tendency to try to learn everything. But we have to make this mindset shift from focusing on those long-term goals, on short-term goals. Those short-term goals when you're taking courses is to pass and good grades in every midterm and every exams that presented before you, and then those long-term goals will take care of themselves. So now you know how it's testable or not. There are three ways of figuring what out. Was to look practice test or previous test. Sometimes the lecturer will give you, permission at the end of the lecture to go over, pay attention to those. I also looked online in integrate to figure out if there are any practice tests lying around. I asked seniors if they had taken the course and if they had any practical material, and asked my friend who was taking the course, we had to use your resources to figure out if there are any additional study materials that you can use. You have to think like a examiner, not a learner. So when you're going over material, always imagine in your mind, how can I test it in the multiple choice format? How can I test this in the short answer format? And try to learn that way. Number two on the list is to write good conscious notes, and then you plan on the outcoming of your own mindset term and your own exam and constantly evaluate at your studying so that you're not falling behind. So for example, let's say you're taking 5 courses and before your midterm you have to go power 10 lectures per course. And each lecture has 50 slides and that totals up to 2,500 slides that you have to go over before the midterm. So you have to write a good consistent note that summarizes everything. That makes it achievable for you to go over materials before you write the midterm so that you are not overload. Check what the nostril and sources as possible containing keywords and important information. You know that if you don't remember something from the notes, you have the PowerPoint slides that you can always fall back on. Number 3 on the list is to use active record while learning. I made a video on this previously that you can watch out, but let me explain on that further here. Let me start off by giving you examples of students who don't know how to study. So when they presented with the information, like my culture is PowerPoint house themselves that will do this without thinking, they just write, nothing coming into the brains. So what I do when I'm going over my notes is when I read information, write only the keywords. And then I oppose to looking at my notes and look at the keywords. For example, what is mitochondria? And I try to think mitochondria is a part of powerhouse of the cell. Why the powerhouse of the cell? And then I try to supplement information from the lecture in the power to cell because it produced. So I'm using all my senses right now, which is my tactical portion. I'm saying things out, which is verbal. I'm booking at my notes. Previously, I'm using my visual cues, and as I'm saying, I'm listening to using all my auditory or senses. And more often, when you're actively recording, you cannot remember all of the information, and that is okay because they have shown it just by attempting to recall. You are creating the connection between information and your memory. Number 4, I cannot emphasize this enough. Reviewing just as important as learning new information. So if we have 20 lectures to go over before midterm, for example, I'm supposed to go to 1 to 20 and then go back to 1 to 20. What it is, I go to 1 to 5 and then review 1 to 5 quickly and then move on 6 to 10. And then when I've done 6 to 10, if I move on 1 to 5 and then I quick look 6 to 10 and then I go to 11 to 15. Obviously, you have to time this correctly before midterm so that you actually cover everything. Number 5 is more important mentality thing. You have to study harder for your midterms than your final exams. You're gonna obviously study hard for your final exam, but you have to study harder for your midterms because that sets the tone for the entire course. Instead you get a bad mark on midterm, then out in the entire course yet catch up again. You're worrying a whole time, probably 2-3 months, worrying about whether you're going to be good enough for the mark so that you can make up for getting bad mark on your midterms. Because I have a strong mindset throughout the school year, I'm going to come across a little harsh. Do you have, but you know the saying, you just got to try your best. I will say, people gotta be the best. Is your best really the top percent of your class? Is your best 25% of your class? If the program that you want to get into the end has less than 10% of acceptance rate, being top 20% of your class good enough for you? No, if you want to do something, you're gonna have the effort, and then you start producing good results, and you reduce the confidence along the way. Number 7 is putting the work in and outworking everyone, which is kind of controversial to put in this video because this is a study technique video. But compared to someone who knows only things study techniques but doesn't work hard, someone who doesn't know this technique and is just putting the hours in studying and getting information into the brain, it is always going to be a person with the best study techniques. I was the present person in my class, so what I did was I just really outworked everyone. I walked into the library before everyone else, and I walked out of the library after everyone else. I spent my time studying on my Friday night, studying Saturday when I was going out partying, and it was one of the students that was living in the library at the same time late at night, and he's now a cardiac surgery student, so I managed to just have an hour everyone. Do I really want to be successful? Number 8 is getting serious study partner and friend who wants to buy you. If you think it's gonna be hard to find them, well, you can start studying late at night at this library at the only time you tend to come across these guys who are coming early in the morning and leaving late at night, coming on weekends. But in the group, I have a group of friends who I really studied with when we didn't really disturb each other. When we was time to study, we studied in each other, and when it was time the business was taken care of, we went out and had fun. Number 9 is staying consistent and staying on top of everything, especially in medicine where there's like million things going on. If I start to lose track of things, I get super stressed, so I have to be on top of everything, of every email. I have to be on top of every, assessments and all the work that I have to do. In undergrad, you are dealing with 5 courses plus the extracurriculars and everything going on. So you have to stay on top of things so that you don't fall behind and get stressed. Let me give you an example of consistency and why is it so important. You have studies student A, student B. You know student A is working Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, 10 hours each. Student B decides to work on Friday but takes Saturday and Sunday off. And student B has fallen behind student A by 24 hours. So no matter how hard he tries, next on Monday, studying 4 hours and praying to all students staying 16 hours. The guys, they always playing catch up to student A, and when you're on a curve at university and undergrad, you're just going to be able to compete against against Udemy. Number 10 is effectively controlling your anxiety and your worry. When you're going through school, there are two types of warriors. One is someone who doesn't study and is worried about not studying. That is the solution to that is simple. You're gonna study. Number 2 is second type warrior, is someone who worries despite having only studies. And when you're in that position, then you need to write down that you are worried about. So on the notebook and on an iPad or whatever, you're worried because you are not seeing what you was about. So you write a line halfway in the middle, write down what you can control and what you cannot control. And something like you cannot control, if working up early, going to the library, studying for X amount of hours and staying focused when you're studying. What you cannot control is the actual grades that I'm not going to get it for this course. So I'm worried, or I'm doing 8B, I'm doing a B plus, maybe A minus, A plus. You cannot control that. Just focus on what you can control, and you just have to give up on what you cannot control. And after I finish this video, I think that I can catch up his speed in the second time for now. I feel like I'm really confident and proud of myself. I can catch up the speed. Actually, at the beginning, it takes me around 10 times to catch up with the speed of the speaker. And the second one, the third one, and now it is the 40th one, which is about just 2 times. I think it is a good. I think that it is a good idea, a good chance, a good opportunity for me, a good, a better. That I've improved a lot in the last 4, 3, 6, 7 months. So I'm really think. So I'm really appreciate. So I'm really appreciate for you guys who have given me the advices, and for myself in the past that that I tried so hard for this day. Okay, so this is the end of my video today.